Mexico, 1968. The men's marathon, as usual, was the final event of all. It's probably not how Tanzania's John Stephen Akhwari expected it to go down. But then, John Stephen Akhwari is not your average, everyday kind of guy. The reigning African champion. He'd beaten the eventual gold medalist Wilder before, but had never run in conditions like this. Like many of the others, he'd struggled with cramp through much of the race. But for Akhwari, cramp and fatigue were the least of his worries. He'd suffered a painful fall, sustaining injuries to his knee, his shoulder and head. Problems that would have most of us screaming for the emergency room and a cocktail of painkillers. Not Akhwari. Rather than pull out of the race, he got his knee strapped up and kept on going. Asked afterwards what prompted him to keep going, he said, "My country did not send me 5,000 miles to start the race. They sent me 5,000 miles to finish the race." And that's exactly what he did. By the time he approached the stadium, the medals had been awarded and most of the crowd had gone home. In the darkness of Mexico City, Akhwari dug down deep. He was going to finish. Word got around, TV crews started following. Local radio broadcast the story. The fans came back to support, to pull him over the finish line. What goes through the mind of an athlete in this situation? "I was just thinking about my mum and dad," he said, as he completed the final few hundred metres. When he crossed the line, the time read 3 hours, 25 minutes and 27 seconds. But for once in a race, the time was irrelevant. His parents had told him, "If you start doing something, finish it. Otherwise, never start it." And he had listened to them. The sight of Akhwari bandaged up and limping in the darkness wasn't the most dynamic image of the Olympic Games, but it was certainly one of the strangest.